next week, all right? Because you all have pencil. Right small. You get no room.
Ouch.
Oh, damn, I have to find somebody rich. Leaving forever? Oh.
I've been catching up. Yeah. Yeah, and most of them like. Yeah, I feel like even the review questions are super. I feel like the exam is the same.
I mean, this is, I don't know if you do it, but it is the same
Oh, cool.
and she's a business.
Oh, nice.
I'm not like
Yeah,
Are we done?
that's true. I feel like
Done? Yes?
part of keeping shifts now. And I feel like keeping up with this it's just this one other one that I've also been examining. I think it's fixed. And he just, the way he lectures is so unlike anything I've ever heard. And I'm like not even sure what to do.
Done? Yes?
It's like the lectures but the teaching standards to like and like, so are you specifically explaining it, or is that just to provide an example? Just like, yeah, I'm just like, I need to like actually meet with him in the past, but yeah, I've been lazy about like scheduling something
Yes, I won't count that as a word. Oh, don't worry. That's why some people like you. I'll be done, people. All right. You guys, when I write down the answer, you write down the answer because I don't want people to say, I wrote down the right answer. Why did I only get 0? Okay. All right. Name one conflict. Just shout it because I'm tired of looking at you guys. Shout it.
females produce only a limited amount of eggs.
Yes. So number of gametes, especially for the females. Another one. Yolk. What a yolk are you guys, huh? I'm going to tell you all. Yolk size.
They have a limited reproductive cycle.
They have a limited reproductive cycle. Time. Risk. Who wants to be pregnant? Oh yeah, okay. And size. That's a yolk. Is that it?
I was going to say risk for parental care.
Parental care. Generally, who looks after the offspring? Generally. Care. Is that it? Roughly? Yes. All right. So, according to Bateman, what determines and limits female reproductive success? Okay, all right, hurry up. What is it? Yes? Egg production. Am I right? Is it egg production? Yes? Who wrote down egg production? Oh, No, but why is it not how many males I choose? There's only one simple answer for this. Yes, back there. I know, look at him. He's got gazillion sperm, okay? So it doesn't, yes, obviously, don't forget, if the female choose, then they're gonna choose a male, right? But what limits her is how many eggs she has. Because if she chooses the wrong male, they have more than enough sperm to fertilize all your eggs. If you choose the right male, they have more than enough sperm to fertilize your eggs, right? So it's always the egg production. Because the female could go. Now, unfortunately, because of time limits, we're not going to talk about sperm competition. Yes, there is sperm competition, right? Maybe if you fail the course, you come back next year and we'll talk about it, right? But the point is that the female only has this many eggs. Maybe she has another cycle in another couple of months and then she dies, but she only has this many eggs. So this is what limits her reproductive success, right? She could choose 4 males and split them all and have sperm competition, because some female species will store sperm in their pocket somewhere, and they can store it for more than one breeding season, all right? So everybody understand, what limits male reproductive success? That's not part of the thing, everybody stay calm, what? Female make choice, but what determines male reproductive success? It's not really, I changed the question a little bit, so I got rid of it. So what happens with males is that they have a high, what?
Variability.
Variance of reproductive success. Because why? Some males fertilize many, many females. Some males fertilize a few, and some males fertilize none. Many males fertilize none, all right? So, I didn't do the cost benefit for the direct benefit. What's an example, what's a direct benefit compared to something we're going to talk about? We just started last Wednesday, we didn't finish. What is direct benefit category? Somebody who hasn't put up their hand yet, all the gung-ho people are here. Somebody in the back, what is a direct benefit example? And what does it mean, direct benefit? Back there.
Creating a nuptial gift?
Yes, yes, producing, creating, thunderbolt and everything. They produce a nuptial gift. It's a direct. Here is money. Here is food, right? These are direct. I can see it. I can see the money and the food, right? So what is the cost to the male? In order, when you do this direct benefit? Yes?
They have to get the resources in the first place to
Exactly. The cost is now they have to go out and get enough food to make a large, what is the word? It starts with S? Spermatophore. And the example I gave was spermatophore. Other years, I talked about an actual prey, all right? So a lot of mantis will go out and hunt for prey, wrap it up in a cocoon, and give it to the female, all right? So those are direct benefits. So the cost to the male is that you may risk predation, right? Because you're running around looking for prey, or you're running around eating lots of food, so you can put the energy into what is in the spermatophore besides sperm? Protein. Where are you getting the protein from? Are you just making it from, I created it, like this, right? So where are they getting all this energy source? They have to go out and eat more. They have to go out and forage more. When you go out and do that, what is the cost there? Predation risk, right? You have to go far, maybe, to forage. Does anybody have another answer? Is there no risk? No, there's always a risk. Does anybody have a risk that I did not say? If you don't say it, I won't pick it as an answer. All right. But you understand what's happening, right? So no matter what, it may seem like they're not doing anything, but if I have to go and eat a lot to make protein something, if I have to go forage around to look for prey in order the female will accept me, then I am taking a risk, am I not? I'm not just eating for myself, I'm eating for some future gains, right? Yes? All right, so I have a couple of videos to show you. Wait a minute. Wait. So the second part, the second category is called good genes theory. Now remember, we're talking about proxy traits, all right? What can you see? So proxy traits, in case some of you are confused, proxy traits are something that the female can visually see, right? So what can the female see that would be a proxy trait? Okay, what? Color. They can certainly see color. So before we go on, you have to understand the unwell of these animals. Can they see color? Yes or no?
Yes.
Can they measure size? Yes or no?
Yes.
Can they determine rates and time? Yes, amazingly. So you guys are terrible. What time is it? I don't know. How long is much passed? I don't know. These animals know this, all right? So in all these things, when you're doing female mate choice, the big thing about female mate choice is you get to compare. All the experiments, how many males do they put in front of the female? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do they put up? What number do they never put up? 1. Come on, people, right? It's not, female make choices. Here's the male, there's the female. Oh, shit. Right? They always give a choice. So in the world, these females are looking at many males and making a decision, all right? They're not in the dark. Someone rips off the blindfold. Oh my God, there's the male, let's have sex, all right? So they always comparing. Comparing is all the time. If there's no comparison, then there's no proxy. I'll just take the first male that comes along, right? So besides color, what else can females observe? Yes. Calls, songs, whistles, dances. How many guys here can dance? That would be attractive to a male, female. I see you guys are hopeless. What else besides color and all these things? Huh? Cleanliness. What? That is a very human word. Is it not? Yes. Besides cleanliness, what would be a better word? A better Umwelt word? Hygiene. You see the two brains like this are going like, how's your hygiene? We're not being anthropomorphic here. Grooming, no. Huh? Maintenance, not quite. Overall something, right? Some kind of overall health. Now, what is one easily observable overall health thing, trait you can see? Not the people up front.
Like the bottom region of the
Huh?
feather. Like the bottom region of the feather.
The bottom of the peacock, yes. What's another easily observed thing? Huh? You can observe injury, yes, injury. What's another one? Mutation. Is there something wrong with my eye here? I don't have a mutation, yes. What? Illness? How do I determine you have illness? Symmetry, yes. So the thing about it is that you can determine illness. If a female sees a male with a bulging parasites all over their eyes and their fur is all ragged, you go, avoid that one, right? So yes, there's overall health, but overall symmetry. Because if you are symmetrical, all right, think about this. If you go and you go out and you say, I'm going to adopt a puppy. You get a puppy. I know some people like puppies that are special needs, but on average, people want puppies that have symmetry, right? Their legs aren't like this, because you're saying, oh my God, how's it going to go up the stairs, right? If you're a female bird, do you want a bird that flies like this? So these are very observable traits. We're going to get into symmetry in a little bit. So symmetry implies what? No, what is the word starts with N? Mutation, because mutations can move your eye down a little bit, a little saggy, can move your ears, can move your antlers, can move your legs and arms. No mutation, no injury. Now you say, well, how can there be no injury? Well, maybe you were dumb and you flew into a window. windows. It's an injury. They're stupid. They hit the window, right? They're not observant. That's a window. That's a high rise, right? No mutilation, no injury, no escape from predators with an injury. These things are very, very observable. You can see their color, you can see their symmetry. I'll get a hold of symmetry. So, what are they really looking at? What are they really hoping for? I'm going to tell you, because you guys are all a little. They're hoping for a good immune system, am I right? Can you visually look at me and say I have a good immune system? No, you cannot. Can you visually look at me and say I have a really good heart, really good lungs, and really good eyes for really good foraging? Can you really determine that? You can say, yes, you seem very red, but I just happened to fall across a carotenoid bush and I didn't go anywhere and I just stuffed my face. All right? So maybe overall all good organs. Can you determine parental care by looking at an individual? A female to the low. These things are, oh, another one more. Can you determine by looking at a male that they have good, viable sperm?
No.
Did you just say yes? Really? Only if you bring along your little microscope. A little microscope. These are all hidden traits, but they're linked to the all the proxy that you see. Symmetry, disease-free. Oh, I should write down here, no disease. Because they look healthy, right? These are all hidden. Now, before we go on, you have to understand, are the males inheriting different genes than the females of any species? Yes or no? Let's vote. People say yes, put up their hand. People say no. Oh, okay, why do you say no? Yes, you. No, not you. You're going like, oh my God, I didn't raise my hand. Yes. So, are you saying the females and males inherit the same genes? Oh. Who said they inherit the same genes? Do they inherit the same genes? I'm confusing myself with you. So, what are the males inheriting? The male traits to do all kinds of stuff. What are the females inheriting? Preference, exactly. So let me show you these videos. They could be on the exam. Why do finches?
Little birds can have a big impact. The Galapagos finches.
Tell me why. Tell me before. What is the answer? Wait, somebody else. Somebody over here. Why?
Environment.
Okay. Is that the only thing?
Could be like the presence of melanin.
Mm,
No. Oh, the toxic chemicals.
what is it? Ultimately, why are male finches different colors? Female preference.
Darwin figure out evolution. The variety of beak shapes on otherwise similar birds were pretty clearly evolved adaptations to different diets. The southern cappuccino seed eaters are very much like finches in looks and in evolutionary history. 9 species came from a common ancestor, but in these birds, the females all look alike and all the species eat grass seeds. The males are all different in their colors and their songs. How did that happen? Sexual selection, the preferences of females. And US and South American researchers have found the tiny changes in DNA that made the males so different. The birds vary in the regulation of pigment genes, where a small change can provide a whole new look. why do females prefer one color over another? Nobody's close to finding those genes.
Got it? Right? So, obviously, the environment has a big thing, right? But in these birds, they're all eating the same food, right? So, you gotta think about it. Why does a female pick an individual of this color? Why? We're gonna talk about this. Because the answer is, anybody have a guess? It's a one-word answer. Anybody want to say the word? Because. That's it. Because. Right? Why does a female have a preference for the red? Because, yes, long time ago, some females said, I like red. The other one said, oh, I like the white speckle, right? And then they diverged because they like it. Their siblings and their offspring may inherit it because they see mommy likes the red, mommy likes the speckle, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on. Can they make a mistake and like the wrong thing? Absolutely. What happened to those genes after 100 million years? They're gone because nobody likes them. You know, it doesn't work, right? So it always have to, if they exist, they must have RS, right? How else are you going to perpetuate this? If it's terrible, you may have reproductive success for a little bit and then it's gone. Everybody understand? If they exist, if a weird, bizarre variation exists, they must have reproductive success. How can you see it? Oh, I haven't made it for 5 generations. Oh, well, then I won't see you. What happened to my other pictures? Okay, here. This is it. No, this is not it. Look at this. Look how bizarre this is. He is a male, right? He's cleaned himself an arena, like in the dance place. Don't stay near me, this is where I'm dancing. Is he attracting predators? Is he very obvious in the jungle of Australia? Yes. Is it necessary for him to do this? Yes. Is it ridiculous? Yes. Is it detrimental based on Darwin's most secondary sexual characteristic? Is it detrimental?
Yes.
Yes. Why is he doing it? Exactly.
First, he moves over the song.
Watch this one. This thing is about 3.9 inches, about this big. There's the,
Now he's got her attention.
that's the
The
female.
stage is set for the greatest example of speed dating in the world. Next, he climbs 30 meters above her. Then for the grand finale, he hurtles straight at the ground. And that was it. Over in a few hundredths of a second.
And over again.
And again.
What's the
To see
female
what he's
saying?
doing, you need to slow things down.
Watch.
This is much more than just high-speed flying.
They're found on the west coast of the United States and Canada.
By folding his wings in tightly, he mimics a missile, traveling nearly 400 times its length every second. At the last moment, he pulls up sharply, pulling more G's than a fighter pilot. It's not just the speed, the height, or the angle of his flight. It's all about serenading on the wing. His tail is singing a sweet song with jet fighter force. air screaming through his spread out tail feathers makes them vibrate in a very special way. Slowed down, this is the sound it makes. It's far louder than any of his singing, and the faster he dives, the better it sounds. Who'd have thought that a sound like this, or this, would make all the difference and see off the competition? To her, it proves he's fit.
Maybe it's because palm cockatoos live so long that they have time to learn so much. But it's a rare thing anywhere in the animal world to see a tool being used quite this deliberately.
I think it's very likely that the female watches these drumming displays and can tell something about either the male or the nest tree at which he's performing. You know, there's something that she's picking up in the way that the drumming sound resonates inside the hollow. We don't really know, but I mean, she watches very intently.
Oh, he's making his
The
drumsticks.
choosy males will try 2 or 3 different drumsticks before they settle on one that they really like.
When they actually perform the drumming display at the nest, it does seem to have a rhythm. But when he's finished with it, he'll often sit at the edge of the hollow and splinter up the stick and add it to the nesting platform that's inside the hollow.
If the female is impressed, she will walk down and join him at the entrance of the nest to see if it's good enough to breed in. With the hollow approved, they can fly off to have a morning snack.
All right, so why are these males doing what Darwin said about detrimental to their own personal health? Yes? Yes. Why are they doing it?
Because the females.
Because the females want it. What does it imply? So Darwin said that these secondary sexual characteristics. And you thought birds were dumb, right? Secondaries are detrimental to male fitness. Oh my God. Got the dropsticks here. To male, not fitness, sorry, male survival. Are they detrimental to male survival? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, because of many things. Meow. So that little hummingbird is 3.9 inches long from head to the end tail. How much energy does it take to do that? Over and over again while the female goes, let's go to find another guy, right? So that's a lot of food, that's a lot of energy, and then you're going crazy. Meanwhile, there's a hawk coming by, go, right? Why?
Because you're attracting predators.
Because the females want it. Males with those traits. So what is it? Obviously, it's a proxy for something, right? Because the Anna hummingbird cannot go to the male hummingbird. How are you? Are you good enough, right? What do you have? So let me give you an example of something that's not a bird, it's a tree frog. So what exactly, can you measure what is it that a male has that it will give to its offspring, right? So this is the Hyla arborea tree frog. I'll just show you, I'll let you listen to it. Tree frog, they lay eggs. Everybody's heard this at night in the summer when you're out drinking somewhere around a fire pit with s'mores and you're like, next summer you'll say, sexual selection's happening. Right? Is this a cost and a risk to the males? Yes, because it attracts all kinds of snakes, foxes, owls, anything that predates at night. Alright? Alright, so they call. And then the females make a choice. But they're very, very polite. If a male comes along and finds a male and a female already having sex, he walks away. He says, oh, so sorry. There's no interrupting, there's no grabbing, there's no fighting, all right? So this thing is very energetically expensive. For the males to call. Because they're not feeding, they're calling and they're attracting predators. So they're not feeding and they're attracting predators. All right? The females pick, and if they're having sex, another male will walk away. There's no issue. So what they did was they want to know exactly what's so special about these males that get picked and their offspring. What is that hidden thing that they're looking for that is the hidden trait? The proxy is the calling, but what is the hidden trait? So they have a 22-day breeding season. So guys, can you imagine getting up to have sex for 22 days every single night, calling and calling and calling and calling and calling? No eating. This is in western Switzerland. So that's a Swiss language you heard of the frog. They did it in the 4 ponds. So what they did was they captured 15 males, and they all have very individual patterns on their back. So many people always say, well, they all look the same, but they don't look the same. So they can take a picture of their back and say, this is male 1, this is male 2, this is male 3. So they all have individual patterns on their backs. So they could be ID'd. The reason why, because you want to get the genotype, right? You want to be able to get the DNA from male 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go get the tadpoles from male 1 and get the genotype and say, yes, these tadpoles belong to male 1, these belong to male 4, these belong to male 3. So every 4 days, they collect the egg mass. And then they weigh each tadpole. Boy, this is really tedious, isn't it, right? And they do a genotype. Just in case the female was cheating, just in case, right? So they have all this data, right? So they let them go for 22 days, and every 4th day, they go back and collect the egg mass and say, who is your father? It's always a paternity test. It's never a maternity test because, oh, I'm pregnant. Okay, I'm pregnant. Who's the daddy, right? It's always who's the daddy. So they measure male attractiveness. You guys all laugh, but there have been cases of women who fake pregnancy. They put some pillow in there, but they're the crazy ones, right? Male attractiveness was the number of females number of females he mated and the number of nights he called during the breeding season. So they have some number, all right, of the 15. The results. Of the 15 males, 10 sired clutches. So of the 15 males, 10 of them were successful. How many were not successful? 5. That's a high percentage. That's like a third of the males that was out there did not get a single female or did not make any egg clutch, okay? 5 got nothing. So they're not in the gene pool anymore, right? So they wanted to know, of those 10, was there any effect on what were the effect on the offspring? Why were they picked compared to the 5, right? And it turns out there is a correlation. So it's like this. This is attractiveness. Remember how they figured out attractiveness is how many females they made it over how many days that they actually were out there going, you can't do it 22 days, right? So we went from like, you don't need to know these numbers. So what they wanted to know was they have the tadpoles, and they know the genotype of all the tadpoles every 4 days. Who's your daddy, who's your daddy, who's your daddy, who's your daddy? They know. So they know 10 of the males gave birth, mated and had eggs, laid fertilized eggs. 5 didn't, all right? So what they found was, interestingly, was tadpole growth rate. They looked at many things, but this was the one that was correlated. So this is tadpole growth rate. Slow. This is very, very fast. It was like this. So is there a correlation to the number of the males that were most attractive, that had the most number of females, that called the most often in a 22-day cycle? What was the benefit of mating with that male? What's the benefit with mating that male? This male, these males right here. What's the benefit? Their offspring grew the fastest. That's the benefit. Okay, that's the result, but why is that a benefit? Someone tell me, why is that a benefit? Is anybody, yes? They're vulnerable, yes. A tiny tadpole, many things in the water, love little tadpole. You know, does anybody know what bubble tea is? You know those little bubble? I love them. Like, but that's like a tadpole. You come along, there's a fish. There, I just ate 45 little tadpoles, right? So if you grow really fast, is it a benefit for that tadpole? Yes. Does it indicate increased survival? Yes. Does it indicate potential reproductive success because you survive? So don't forget, the benefit is they grow faster, which could avoid more predation pressure. You can avoid more, because now you're a frog, you're not necessarily going to be eaten by a fish, unless it's a big fish, as opposed to a little tiny, whoa, you're going to draw a tadpole. There's a tadpole, all right? I'm not going to draw a frog. So you understand, so is there a correlation with the males that were most attractive? Yes. Their offspring, the thing that they're giving to the offspring is increase in very rapid growth rate. These are what the females are picking. So over time, don't forget, some females are now pick these, but more and more females are picking here because they have the ones that survive. So even if you pick here, and you lay eggs, yay! But the problem is they take a long time to get to a large size. In that long time, they increase the chance of being eaten. Everybody understand? Yes? So what's the proxy trait here? What's the one that the females are picking for? Oh my God, you guys are completely dead. What are the female frogs picking?
One more question.
Wait, actually, I had a question, sorry.
Yes.
So, does it affect the, like, their adult, size, or is it just the growth in the
Growth to adulthood, very fast.
bigger frogs when they're more attractive?
Not necessarily bigger frogs. What are the females picking?
Is it the croaking?
Yes, it's the calling. Call. Did I not write that down? Oh, sorry. Calling. What did I show you in that video? What were they doing? Were they dancing? No, they were calling. All right, let me write this down. The males call. Ribbit. Okay, what does the call signify? It's a proxy trait for rapid growth rate, right? Yes. Is it beneficial to have a tadpole that grows fast? Yes. Everybody understand? Why? What are the female frogs picking? How do they choose males? Save me. Yes.
Is it which one croaks the loudest and the most?
Yes, and the most often. So remember, attractiveness is not only the number of females they mate with, but it is how many days they're calling. So male calling is the measure of attractiveness. If you call a lot over many, many days, you must be a big frog because you're not eating. They eat at night, but they're not eating. You can't, how many people did your parents ever tell you don't talk when you have food in your mouth? Yes, because then you spill out food. So when they're calling, they're not hunting. So that means they must have a lot of food reserve. So what the trait they're passing on is very rapid growth. You can't determine this. You can't look at a frog and say, oh, I wonder if your offspring will grow fast. But it is linked to how often they call. And the more they call, the more females will go to them, right? And it turns out this is a very positive trait because when those females pick those males that call a lot, they have very fast growth rate in tadpole. What about these 5? Do you think they called a lot? Do you think if they made it, if you force the mating, their tadpole will grow fast? No. So they go, all right, you guys are a little confused. Are you guys confused? Let's go with sandflies, all right? Has anybody ever been bitten by a sandfly? No? Has anybody been to the beach? Guess where sandflies are found? On the mountains. No, on the beach, in sand, right? They look like, I have no idea what sandflies look like. I'll show you a picture of 2 of them having sex. All right? So, now we're looking at another example. I know you're going to say, oh my gosh, she's going to do another one. But this one is interesting. Now we're trying to separate what are, when you have an offspring, a whole bunch of offspring, half male and half females, is there a difference between the males and females? I know you're going to say yes, but is there really a difference? What are the fathers, the males, passing on to their sons, and what are the females passing on to their daughters, right? This is where you get sexual selection, because we've already gone through this. Male traits could be all kinds of this thing, and the females are like brown, small, whatever. But the females are getting something. They're getting something from their parents, from their female mothers from many, many, many generations. Pick this, this is the color, this is the song, this is the shape. The males are going like, you better have this, you better have this, you better have this, you better have this, right? So this is the experiment they did, because it's small, you can do it in the lab, and you can make So in experiment 1, they took 10 virgin females. Always with the virgins, right? And they mixed it with 5 virgin males. In a bottle, all right? A bottle, no, it's probably more like a big petri dish or a big arena, all right? Let's do the male in black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here is it. The reason why they're doing this is because they want to give the females a choice, all right? So they just randomly took 5 male virgins from all different stocks. They put 10 female virgins. They're not related. Nobody's related to each other. So there's no worry about inbreeding, siblings, or whatever. They let the females go and they watch. So you can go home and say, guess what I'm doing for my PhD? I'm watching sandflies have sex. Right? So it turns out that all 10 of these females picked 1 male out of these 5 to mate with because there's high variance in male reproductive success. What number do you want me to pick? I don't care. 3. Picked 5, all females. All right? All right, everybody got it? So the female individually has all these offspring from these, all these females have offspring from male number 3, right? They let them go, let them breed, let them hatch, let them have baby, let them grow up. Then, here's the exciting thing. I'll do it in blue. Then they took the male, from these males, everybody understand, those are these males. This is male, this is that male, this is that male, this is that male. Everybody got it? They gave each of them, they're not losers, because they're going like, oh my God, I just got canned from the experiment. They gave each of them 10 virgin females. No competition. So there's 1 male in the dish, and there are 10 virgin females, and he's going like, I didn't lose. I did not lose, right? They all had babies. They all had offspring. This male also had offspring. Right? Everybody got this? Lots of offspring. Did all 5 males have offspring? Yes, so they're all perfectly capable. But the one that was the choice, which number was that?
3.
3. Everybody got this? Because the experiment gets even more complicated. Now we come to experiment 2. What do you think they did? Anybody have any idea what do you think they did? Nobody has an idea? Yes?
The offspring saw which of those offspring were the choice for
For which generation?
the next generation.
Ah, yes. So they took the male 3, the male offspring, male 1, 2, 4, 5, male offspring. So they did this in all combinations. So in any one arena where they're doing this stuff, they take a male offspring from male 3, a male offspring from male 1, a male offspring from male 2, a male offspring from male 4, a male offspring from male 5. They put 10 virgins there, and they asked the virgins, there you are, there are 5 males, go have at it. They did this over and over again with all the males, offspring from all the males of the first one. Everybody got this? Because I can't write it down. Yes? Who's confused? Because I don't want people coming up and going, who's having sex? They're all having sex. Yes? Experiment 1. Virgin females. Yes.
Are all of these male offspring in one box or each in their own boxes?
One male of each is in a box together, but then there are many boxes because each of the original males gave birth to many babies, males and females. All right, I'll do this as a prime. How's that? You know, let's stop for a minute. In this experiment, up here, that's the experiment. Did each of the males have offspring? Yes or no? Yes. Are in the offspring, are some of them males? Yes or no? Are some of them females? Yes. Are there many males? Yes. Are there many females? Yes. Right? So, you can run this experiment 110,000 times because I'm going to take the offspring from number 3. I'm going to take an offspring from number 1, number 2, number 4, number 5. All males, put them in a jar with 10 virgin females from any of these things. All right, doesn't matter where. Then I have another jar where I have the offspring from number 3, number 1, number 2, number 4, number 5. Do I have to keep on going? Yes, yes, yes. Now, so this is example of one jar. There are many jars, all right? In this jar with the offspring, M3, M1 prime, M2 prime, M4 prime, M5 prime, they each got 10 virgin females. I wrote this thing wrong, actually. No, I know what you guys are confused. They were all given, they were added to 10 virgin females. I shouldn't have done a little quotation mark. So this is one arena, right? There are many of these arenas. Everybody got it? Now they got 10 virgin females, all right? Who did the 10 virgin female predominantly, significantly picked to go have sex? Joe just flashed me something. Yes. Why did they overwhelmingly pick the offspring from male number 3? What's wrong with the offspring from male number 1, or number 2, or number 4, or number 5? Yes?
They didn't have the desirable chicks.
Something, yes. Yes. So this, you're not going to believe this, is an actual theory, hypothesis. It's called the you laugh. Think about this. Think about this, ladies. If you have children, do you want, and you are in a species, okay, let's do human things, okay? Ladies, let's suppose we're not humans, but we're still females, all right? Do you want your son to be selected by next generation females, yes or no? Especially if you participate in female mate choice. Do you want your son to be picked? Yes or no? Do you care what your daughters look like? Really? No, because you know why? Why? It's female mate choice, right? It's always female mate choice. This is all female mate choice. So what do you want if you were a female parent? Do you want average sons, sexy sons, ugly sons? Do you want average daughter, ugly daughter, sexy daughters? Which one do you want? Does it matter with the daughters? Because it's female mate choice. Does it matter with the sons? Yes. So the sexy son hypothesis says that females want sexy males as mate because the male father to females of the next, what's the word I'm gonna write down?
Offspring.
Next what? Does this make sense? So, are males passing on different genes to their sons compared to their daughters? Yes. Are females passing different genes onto their daughters versus their sons? Yes. So, the males are passing on this attractiveness because they got picked, all right? The females are passing on, pick this. This is attractive. Yes? So how many guys here are sexy sons? Oh, sorry. I'm not looking at him because he fell. Injury, all right? How many people have sexy sons? Remember that, ladies, when you're out there shopping. But how do you know what is sexy? You gotta use those proxy traits, right? Oh look, sandflies having sex. I know, they back to back, right? That's why I can't draw a sandfly. So this is my sexy son. This is my cat too. They're both, well, the cat is dead, he's not. But he's married. Oh, too bad, ladies. The bad news, he doesn't have kids. Yet. All right. So, what are the males giving traits to their sons? Yes. Are these traits costly? Yes or no? Yes, because you have to do all these things. When that female hummingbird, if it picks that male, her sons are what they're going to do. Are they going to sit on the branch and going like, pick me? No, they're going to do that crazy meow, meow, right? Right? The females are going to get a different trait. So, one of the hidden things that we haven't talked about is something that is costly. Oh, am I the right thing or I'm not correct? One of the things that we haven't talked about that affects the immune system is parasitic infection. Nobody finds the sexy son hypothesis interesting? All you ladies should be all thinking about this. Go home to your father and say, hello, sexy son. Wow. Assuming, and then you look at your brother and going, no, wrong, loser. Oh, definitely my parents did not have a sexy son. I'm the sexy son, all right? All right, we've done a little bit of the immune system with those birds with their little their eyes, right? But the thing about it is that those are obvious traits. If you have a disease where your feathers fall out, your eyes are milky and runny and everything, everybody goes, it's like how often do you find somebody attractive when they're sick, right? With red eye, snotty nose, whatever you go like, no, thank you, right? But sometimes a parasitic infection is inside, especially internal parasites. Some of you may have taken human parasitology. It's inside, but it has an expression. So sometimes what happens when you have a parasitic infection, you lose some external trait. What do you generally lose as an external trait? You lose coloration or weight, right? So if you have an internal parasitic infection, the effect could be loss of coloration. Duller, shall we say duller? You could also suffer from weight loss because the parasite is taking up all your nutrients, right? So this is the hypothesis from Hamilton Zook, very famous. And it all has to do with parasitism. They basically say that what Hamilton Zook says is that if possessing trait X, the males are good at fighting as a judge for a good immune system. Again, these are over and over again. I'm trying to make you guys really understand all these proxies. You cannot determine a good immune system. You cannot determine that these males are going to fight off bacterial, viral, or parasitic infection. But there are some other traits. And in this case, we're looking at stickleback fish. 3-spined stickleback. I like to use all kinds of weird examples because people always think, well, you know, do fish really make a choice? Absolutely, they make a choice. So the 3-spined stickleback fish will get this particular parasitic infection. We don't need to know what it is. But when they're infected, they are duller in color. You're fighting an infection. When you're sick, you don't look great. You don't have your rosy cheek and your lovely glossy hair. You're all like, all kinds of stuff. People coming along going like, okay, she looks like she's got a zombie apocalypse and has been bitten by a vampire or something, right? So what they do is they test these fish. Now, what's interesting about the male stickleback is that they actually make the nest. And they present it, so it's kind of like a combination of direct and good thing. Look at this lovely home. Did you see that drumming of that bird? So after the drumming, and female goes, you know what? All females, all ladies, do we all like drummers? Yes, of course. That's why all guys want to play drums. Okay, it all stems back hundreds of million years to birds. So after the drumming, the female looks, let's see the palace that I'm going to raise my babies in. It's not so good. I'm going to go away. So there's all kinds of stuff in the umwelt of these birds, right? So the males make a nest, but then the females have to pick the male. And guess what? The males also have coloration. So guys, if you're going on a blind date, wear something red. It's a power color, all right? What is interesting about these fish, stickleback and a whole bunch of others, is they lose their red color in non-breeding season. You want to camouflage, right? But during breeding season, they come up and they show all this redness, and the females go, oh my God. So they allow them to have choice. Again, there's all these choice, right? So the females are given a choice of 2 different males. One has less red than the other, right? We've done this before. You know what the answer. Which male is the female going to pick? Right. The result is always they pick the redder male. So do we really know it's the red male they're picking? Maybe there's some other umwelt thing we don't know. So guess what they did? In these tanks, these are under white light. Guess what they did next? So these are in white light. What's the next experiment? Anybody want to guess?
Red light.
No, red doesn't absorb. It's green light. When you put green light on, you can't see red. I'm telling you this now, okay, in case anybody has red eyes, have a green light. So you put this under green light. Which male is the fish going to pick? You cannot see red light. You cannot see red coloration with green light. Cannot detect red color. Which male is she going to pick? Okay, nobody put up the hand. Is she going to pick a male? Okay, which male is she gonna pick then? And you say yes. No, she doesn't pick because they don't look red. This is during breeding season. She's looking for red. If she cannot see red, who is she gonna pick? And they put the same fish. She'd already picked this one before because it wasn't white light. But when they put the green light on, so her own well, she cannot detect red. Who does she pick? She doesn't pick. She looks at both of them and goes, and swims off. All right, everybody understand, right? Yes? Next experiment, they infected these fish. Oh, the wrong color. With ick. Has anybody ever had an aquarium? Yes. You know what ick is? It's this kind of fungal, bacterial stuff that they get on their fins of their. Does anybody know? Oh my God! You guys all go out there, buy an aquarium, and infect yourself. They infected all the fish, not only the males. They infected them with a mild dose of ick. I'm not going to give you the entire name of the whatever. I think it's a bacteria. It's a fungi. It's a ciliate protozoan. They infected all the males with it. They all got sick. Then they treated it. So they infected it, and then they treated it. Everybody got this? They have control fish, males. So then they take these ones, and then they take a control, never infected male. So, in the treated one, they were the ones that were picked initially because they were very, very red. Now they've been sick, and they've been treated, and now they are basically the same male. It was a very minor infection. So when they now put the female here, who does she pick? Who does she pick? Anybody want to guess? Nobody wants to guess? Yes? Yes. So this male was originally picked because he was very, very, very red. He's red now, but not as red. So there is a disease condition that passes on. So even if you're no longer infected by it, you yourself are no longer sick. There is something about you that the female can detect. It's not what we can see, because in the end, he just comes out as very red also. But there's a control male that is also red, but has never been infected. So there's some unknown unwelt by these females that said, I think you've been sick. They've done these fascinating experiments with starvation. Short-term starvation when they're growing up, these fish and these other animals, right? And then they give them all the food they want. So in the end, between the experimentally starved and the control, they're all the same weight, right? So they all look exactly the same. Then they expose females to them, and they never pick the males that was starved early on. How does the female know? We don't know, but they absolutely do know because there is something going on. Yes, we manipulated the starvation, but in the natural condition, they could have landed in the wrong spot, didn't find food, blah, blah, blah. So they then had to gorge themselves, while the other ones were constantly finding food or whatever. Does everybody understand? So these are what you call the good genes. The females are picking something that hopefully evolutionarily is a good trait, right? But then we don't absolutely always know what's going on. Yes? 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 Oh, we got lots of time. I'm pretty close to done. Okay, I lied. All right, let's do symmetry. But this is all still part of good genes, right? Symmetry is very, 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 very important, all right? I'm not going to write it down. It signals everything. You know, it signals good, no mutation because you're symmetrical. Good development and good genes because you're symmetrical. You've avoided all kinds of injury, you're symmetrical. You've avoided being even close to being injured or hit into a glass because you're symmetrical. So you look beautiful, right? So are the females really looking for symmetry? And can they detect when it's not symmetrical? So here they use barn swallows. Does everybody know what a barn swallow is? Yes? They're birds. And they're really nice because they like to hang out on wires, many of them. So that the female can fly by and go, oh, look at Bob. He's so symmetrical. Bob, here's my cell phone number. Call me. Right? They happen to have paired tail feathers. Remember, you're a female, all right? All you can do is look. And they happen, amazingly, to hang out all the time. I'm getting worse and worse with drawing. Whew. I don't know what's going on with that one, but he's got a lot of tattoos, okay? So these are all males. This one's got the mask of Zorro, okay? All right, so you can fly by and take a look and determine symmetry, right? Because these are a symbol, the tail feathers are a symbol for good genetics, unsymmetrical, no mutation, unsymmetrical, no injury, unsymmetrical. I've avoided close encounter or very close encounter with predators, symmetry, right? So you're a female. Who are you going to pick? Very easy, right? So let's pick this. We'll pick this one, and the tattoo guy, okay? Because they're symmetrical. So guess how they manipulated the experiments? Again, it's all so boringly similar. How will you manipulate this? Nobody knows how they would manipulate. Yes. Yes. Oh, how terrible. Birds were hurt in the making of this experiment, okay? Many were killed. So, exactly. So what they did was, okay, you take a symmetrical male. You can do one of two things. You can make them asymmetrical, or you can make them symmetrical. So for this one here, they can add, I'll make the added stuff red, but they're not really red. I don't want anybody confused that I add red feathers, all right? Is this male symmetrical anymore? If he was paired with a more symmetrical male, would he be picked? But he was picked originally, right? So what about this one? Was this male picked? Is this male going to be picked now? Exactly, right? So then the scientists said, okay, it's obviously all clear that in this case, they're not flying, they're not calling, they're not cleaning up a house for you, they're not drumming, they're just sitting on the wire going like, look at my tail feathers, right? So then the question was, how far can this go? Can you now make this? Will it be picked? Because this is really exaggerated. They've done this with all kinds of stuff. You know, there are some birds with little crowns. They stick more and more on. So how far will it go? At some point, will a female says, "Oh my God, did you see this bird? Remember, these are barn swallows. These are not these crazy birds with all kinds of feathers all over. How far can it go? Can it keep going on and on and on and on and on and on? Yes or no? Let's have a vote. Yes? No? I don't give a shit. Last choice. Anybody else? Yes, you don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You guys are so dead. Which is male, which is female? Obvious. But notice, I want you to note, that non-breeding, they look identical. Breeding season, signal turns and all the males turn red. Who's larger, the female or the male? Why? Yes. So he's nudging her, says, come on, come to my apartment. I've got some lovely art I want to show you, right? Come on, my nest is right there. It's right there. Come, lay your eggs. Try that, guys. Hey, come to my apartment, lay your eggs. We'll see, we'll visit you in prison. Ick, right? Remember, they gave them a mild infection, treated it so it's gone, and then they tested them again. So these females are able to detect that something happened in your life history, all right? Who do you think is better looking, left or right? I'm going to give you this, everybody vote, or I'm going to throw away all the quizzes and fail everybody. All right? Who says left? Who says right? You guys have no taste. None. That's why I keep talking to you about these things. You're going like, I don't know what it's going to look like. Has anybody ever gone to a grocery store? No, you never. Oh, it's all Uber Eats and Venmo, all right? When you were young, did your parents ever take you to a grocery store and you're in a shopping cart? Yes. And then you go back, when you cashier, they always have magazines. Faith, help me. You know what I'm talking about. Magazines. They always have models. They never find a picture of me. I don't know why. Right? So before we get there, symmetry is very important, right? So you as a female are going to be able to detect this, right? You can detect all these birds. They all love to hang out together. You can make a choice. Barn swallow, all right? They can make them more symmetrical, less symmetrical. So you can take a male that is highly desired, very symmetrical, and alter them, and then ask the female, do you want him anymore? And the female always says no, right? So the question is, this is for the guys, is bigger always better? Oh, and notice only the females laugh, the males are going, no! At some point, what they did was they made those feathers longer and longer and longer, and at some point the female goes, holy shit, go away. So, there is a limit to how far they can say, what the heck's going on, all right? Symmetry, you go to a magazine, go to any magazine, and if you draw down their lines, are they symmetrical? So it's not so much movie stars, because they're acting, they have to have, if you're quirky looking. But if you go look at any model, go up to a magazine, look at any model, draw a line down the middle, they are perfectly symmetrical because that's what we consider looks. We are detecting these subtle things, like if the eye is dropping, you're going like, I'm not dating you. Oh, you have 100 million? I'll date you, right? All right, everybody understand? So the question is, how far can you push these male traits, right? The females want it, the males make it. The female says, can you make more? And the female, can you make even more? And then at some point you're going like, oh my God, the bird can't even fly anymore because it's dragging 40 feet of tail feathers like this. This is a concept called runaway selection. Not runway with the sexy women who wear hardly anything and they're like 9 feet tall and they weigh like 20 pounds. Can you push it? Can the female says, you have big, can you make it bigger? Oh, you have bigger, can you make it even bigger? Oh, you have bigger, can you make it the biggest? All right? Runaway selection. It's a mechanism where a secondary sexual characteristic, sexual trait, is expressed in one sex. Which sex is it usually? Male, becomes genetically correlated with a preference for the trait in the other sex. What sex is that? Now, I know you're saying, we've already talked about this, but now this is like rolling away. So one sex has the trait, the other sex prefers it. Because of the preference, the one sex makes it bigger, the other sex, oh, I like bigger, and then it goes back and forth and roll and roll and roll and roll until you get some ridiculous things, all right? This is what you call a self-reinforcing loops of coevolution. So this is not a coevolution between two different species. This is coevolution between the female and the male of that species. The female says, I want this. The male says, I'm going to give it to you. The female says, you give it to me, but I want even bigger. The male goes, you want bigger? I'll give it to you bigger. And the female goes, you got bigger, I want even bigger. And the male goes, I got bigger too. Okay, and it goes on and on and on. And it just keeps on going so that you end up with some crazy, crazy, crazy thing. And the thing that I want, the thing that they have, oh my God, what the hell happened here? Is the stalk-eyed fly. Does anybody know what the stalk-eyed fly is? It's a fly. I'm going to draw a fly. Let me see. What does the fly look like? What are the eyes? Is this a fly? Is that a fly?
I don't think so.
Wait a minute, I know. It's got legs. That's a fly. It's a fly with eyes. You know, they have all these, you know, have you ever seen the horror movie The Fly? They all have these eyes. Well, so ancestrally, the stalk-eyed fly looks like every other fly. Everybody knows what a fly looks like. Actually, I think we're missing some body parts, aren't we? Yes, I think we have. There, is that a better fly? The stalk-eyed fly starts off with an ordinary fly, but for some reason a mutation happened. And the eye got bumped out a little bit. And the female says, ooh, look at Buckley Eye over there. Sexy. Over time, the stalk eye this is the eye. Right? Is it? Oh my God, this is a very asymmetrical stalk eye. Right? Over time, these things came way out here. It's ridiculous, okay? Look, this is their eye. Are they efficient at avoiding telephone poles? No. Are they good at avoiding a frog that's right there with a tongue? No. They have their eyes. Is it really efficient to have your eye out here? One eye here and one eye here. And there's nothing here. What do you see? I don't know. I have no idea. I see this side of the corridor, that side of the corridor, right? So this is an example of runaway selection. The females they started off with a very small little thing. So they started off with a little bump, a tiny little mutation where almost every other animal was going ugly. Nobody mate with you. But the female said, ooh, look at them, buggly eye there, right? This is the ordinary fly. Doesn't my fly look like that? Say yes. Yes. Yes, it's all the wings. I had the legs. I didn't realize they always collapse their wings. So they came up with a tiny little mutation, and then all of a sudden, you have that ridiculous eye, right here, right? Yes?
So was it just one female that liked it and it kind of just ended up spreading throughout the people, or was it
Can only one female enough sweep the whole population after over time? No, but don't forget, the females, now, we're not doing communications, and I'm not saying that the females are talking to each other, but if a female in a group picks a male, what are you gonna do? You may say, oh, if Betty's doing it, I'm gonna go do it too, right? So don't forget, we're not talking about yesterday, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of years, all right? Slowly. The females pick something. Now, is there reproductive success in picking that male originally? Yes or no? There has to be. If you picked a male that has buggly eye and he has no sperm, are you passing this trait on? No. Is the male passing this trait on? No. Don't forget, I keep saying over and over again, there has to be reproductive success or we won't see it. You can't say, oh, look at the fossil 10 million years ago. Well, they're not here now, right? So yes, there is communication. A female picks a male and other females pick that male. If it has any advantage, it will be passed on to his genes and they go on and on. And at some point, the male, because of having this little thing, is a little mutation that becomes a little bit bigger. Oh, the female goes, woo, that is sexy, all right? So over time, you get these stock-eyed, ridiculous males. Run away. Now, can it get even further than that? No. At some point, you hit the bottom of your runway, and that's it. You're done. You cannot have this thing where the eye is all the way out here, all right? Right? Yes?
Do you know why it got bigger over time? Is it
Because of the desire of the female. Isn't bigger better? Would you rather I give you $1 or 100? 100? Oh, you're giving me 100. Wait a minute, you have 1,000 in there. I'll take 1,000. Don't forget, continually, if two tall people marry and they have children, the likelihood is that they're going to have a tall offspring, at least one. Am I right? Everybody understands natural selection, right? So I believe it's either Sweden or Norway. They have the tallest people in the entire world. The average female is 5'10", 5'11". The average male is 6'4", 6'5". You're going right. And that's because early on in the 1940s and 50s, females preferred tall men. So they pick tall men. When you pick a tall man, you're going to end up with taller children, right? Now we're talking humans, right? So you now have taller children. Everybody likes tall children. They're going to get mated. Now you have a tall female and a tall male. They get together, they're going to have even taller. So it turns out tallness is related to more offspring because you're the one that's always picked. So this whole country is way taller than all of us. If you're a male and you're from that country, you're probably 6'4", 6'5". If you're a female, you're probably 5'10", 5'11". That's not the state here. So somewhere along the line, there's a preference for tallness in that country, right? They come here, we go, ugh, creep, and then let's go with a short, rich guy, right? Have you noticed all these billionaires are all dumpy, short, ugly-looking guy, but their wallet is like, they have money like this. So it depends what you're looking for, right? So all it takes, the bottom line is all it takes millions of years ago, 1,000 years ago, is one female picking a male and said, I like this. They have to have reproductive success. The males, the male offspring get the trait, and the female offspring get the trait, or they learn to get the trait, and then it slowly encodes into their genes. Yes? 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 Let me ask. Go ask.
Is there a chance that, like, the runaway selection, the trait gets so extreme, the species just dies? Like,
No, it stops before that, because you can't have sex with a male where one eye is on that horn, the other eye is here, and going, I don't know where I'm going. Where's the female, right? Yeah. Somewhere it stops. Do you remember that picture of those the barn swallow, they kept making the tail longer and longer. At some point, the female gone, okay, I'm done. This is ridiculous, all right? So yes, it does stop. So they haven't gone bigger than that. All right, I have 2 more examples, and we're going to be done early, then we can talk about the exam. You know there's an exam, right? All right, let me give you 2 examples. If you want to, we can just do one. I prefer this one. This one just came out in August 2024. What month are we in? September. All right. This is a very interesting one because it mixes natural selection and sexual selection, right? Everybody knows natural selection. Natural selection says that these particular traits that are encoded in the genes are very advantageous to this environment. Everybody knows this, right? Sexual selection says, well, yes, but I want it bigger. I want it wilder. I want it louder. So there is a conflict because sometimes bigger, louder is detrimental to the survival of the male, right? So this is a really interesting one. It just came out. It's fascinating. Barn owls. Anybody know what a barn? Do not ask me to draw a barn owl. Okay. Let me draw a better fly. Maybe the wings are like this. There's my fly. There. All right. So barn owls are nocturnal. What does nocturnal mean? Everybody say it. Yes, they hunt at night, right? Owls hunt at night, right? We don't see them in the daytime. These barn owls is in Lucerne, Switzerland. They hunt voles. Voles are small rodents, okay? I'm not drawing you a vole. They're small rodents, all right? Now, what's interesting, of course, about all these things is that these barn owls come in 2 color morphs. One or 2 color morphs, or they prefer to use the word shades, but I use the word morph. They just come in 2 different shades, all right? There is a reddish brown and a white color. Now this white is whiter than the female, all right? The male white is whiter than the female white. So you have 2 color morphs, all right? I'm not going to show you a picture yet, all right? So they have a brownish, reddish brown color, or they are very, 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 very white, all right? So here's the scenario. There's a new moon. Does anybody know what a new moon, when I write down new moon? It's not me dropping my pants when I was a baby. Go on. Yes. So in a new moon, without clouds, is it bright outside? Tell me the answer. What's the answer? No, okay? So it's quite dark, all right? Quite dark. You don't want to go out hunting for stuff in new moon. Humans, because we have bad eyesight, because we're not nocturnal, right? In the new moon, the reddish and the white, they both are equally successful at hunting at night, catching on average 5 voles per night. So they have very good success at predation, all right? Now we come to the full moon. I'll do the full moon in different colors. In a full moon without clouds, is there a lot more light? Yes. Is anybody a werewolf in here? Just asking. it's very bright, guess what the brownish, reddish brown color owls do? They only catch 3 voles on average. The white catch 5 voles per night. Who's more successful on a full moon? Exactly, right? And you're saying, wait a minute, if it's very, very, very bright out, the voles can see also, am I right? You can see, I can see, the owl can see, the vole can see. So why is it that you can catch more if you're white? Because now everybody can see the white. Brownish, reddish brown, you could be camouflaged in the full moon. Why is it? No, somebody else. Anybody? Yes? They can, who's confusing who? Ah, you're very close, but I'm gonna let you take it. So it turns out that when in a full moon, when it's fairly bright, the voles, when they see the white owl, I'm gonna show you a picture and you'll understand, actually freeze for 5 seconds longer than any other time. So voles will freeze when they feel an owl is coming by. Because you know what? A lot of predators are targeting to movement. Like you're a predator. If you're standing still like this, the predator will walk past. But if you move, they are specifically eye and mentally coordinated to follow track motion. So these voles, when they see the white owl in a full moon, they actually freeze. No, not freeze. The voles freeze for, they actually time this, 5 seconds longer. In that 5 seconds, the owl has gotten the vole. Which is the reddish-brown owl? Which is the more white owl? All right? Aren't they cute? This is the reddish-brown owl morph at night. Right? You guys ready? This, yes. So if you're a vole, you'd be like, and then, so who's more successful in a full moon? I know. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Yes, now.
So do the voles not recognize the reddish brown ones as owls?
Oh, they do. But the problem is that you want that extra 5 seconds. Because then they freeze. And then when they start running, you're already flying. And you know what's amazing about owls? They don't make a noise when they fly. Did you know that? It's amazing. There's all kinds of physics. They put them in tunnels, and you'll see the owl fly by, and there's no noise. You see any bird, it goes flip, 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 flip. The owl is like, right? So they're feeding their young. Now wait. Let's go. Let's think about this, okay? So, for sexual selection, and down here we'll do natural selection. Let's do natural selection first. In terms of natural selection, which is a more successful morph? Someone give me, well, I will ask for a vote. This time you better put up your hand, one or the other. The reddish brown is more successful based on natural selection. Put up your hand. The white one is more successful for natural selection. Oh, you guys are so good. Are owls predated upon? Yes. Under natural natural selection, what color would be the ideal and more safer color? Because of camouflage, right? So a natural selection, the reddish morph wins because it's more camouflage. Everybody get it, right? Of course there are white ones, duh, but on average, if you are blending in reddish brown in your environment, you're going to be more hidden to predators, am I right? Compared to white. How many people go in the forest and see white things? You don't. But does the white morph exist? Ah. Let's go to sexual selection. What morph do some females like? White. Not all, but many. Is there a conflict between natural selection and sexual selection? Now, why do females prefer the white one? They're freaky. Oh my God. Right? Turns out, they're better hunters because 5 plus 5, so they're always collecting 5 bowls in new moon or full moon. The red do well in new moon, but sooner or later you're coming to the full moon. You know, there's a part where it becomes very, very full and still very, very full. So those times, all that time with the moon, they're only going 3 bowls. So it turns out that these white morphs get more prey overall, and they have better parental care, which we'll get into after the midterm. So what's the conflict here? Is there 2 morphs? Yes. But based on natural selection, which morph should we always find, generally, as a dominant color? The dark, right? But we find white, so there has to be enough reason for the white. So there has to be enough females that said, I prefer white. Yes, I'm going to have some white sons that may get eaten, but I'm also going to have white sons that some females want, right? Because you're much better at catching overall bowls throughout the entire month, and because you catch more, you're going to feed my babies more food, right? Yes? So you can see now there's a conflict between natural selection and sexual selection. No? Yes? When I read this, I said, oh my God, I must teach it to you guys. Last one, very last one. What have I not mentioned so far in sexual selection? Whoever tells me the answer, I will absolutely give you 50 points right off the bat. Yes?
What if someone like cheats on you?
Cheater is after the midterm.
Okay.
No. Anybody have dared for 50 valuable points? Yes?
Muscles.
You mean like clams, mussels? Or mussels? Last chance. 50 points. Yes?
If the animal already has an offspring.
A competition between females.
Ooh, you want to fight? Come here. Come on. Yes? You? We already did that. It's intrasexual. Yes, it's fine. Ooh.
Male interaction.
Can you believe it? Males have a choice. Have we talked, does everybody, first of all, everybody believes in female made choice, right? Guys? All right. So, I told you a long time ago that they have always talked about intrasexual selection. male-male competition, right? The winner gets all the harem of females, and the loser, that elephant seal, goes off into the ocean going, right? Happens to many, many species. They have studied this in depth in every single animal that does it, all right? Can you switch from intra to intersexual selection? Yes or no? You can't. And the other side is female mate choice, the evolution of the love for beauty, right? So they didn't really discover female mate choice until, guess what? I was looking at this article about male mate choice, and they actually said they didn't really study this until the feminist movement in the 1960s. Yay, females. And then everybody says, oh shit, we've ignored all these other choices by these species. What is even rarer are fools who study male mate choice, right? And it's a very small number of species where there is total role reversal. The males pick the females, all right? I'm going to give you one example. Before I do that, you tell me under what condition would you find male mate choice? Very few species have this, because we females rule everything. Yes? If the female is a hunter?
Like, she's like the one that doesn't continue with their species.
Didn't they just discover all these fossils a long time ago, hunter gatherers? They always said that the women gathered. Oh, let's gather some herbs. Well, it turns out the females are out hunting. The males were going like, where's the beer, right? Females are hunters. On average, everybody hunts, right? Right? Because if you're a female house finch, are you waiting for the male to feed you? No. What's another? Yes?
If the males are in charge of taking care of the kids.
Ooh. Under what condition? Let's see. And you said male parental care. Anything else?
Under matriarchies, maybe? Like hyenas?
No. That's not male mate choice. A strange sex ratio, right? Possibly, yes? Where the female dies? How am I going to give birth if I'm dead? There is no. That's a good one, yeah, but it's not. More females than males, possibly. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about all those Black Widow spiders, right? Where after the sex, the male says, eat me. And then when, you know, and in fact, in past years, I've given that example, but I figured you guys didn't look interested in spider sex. But what happens is, in the eating of the male, which the male is called sexual suicide, take me, because I've just inseminated you, the female is now full. When she's full, she will not seek another male. That's why the female widow spider kills the male. The male knows this, because is the male of any purpose after you've inseminated all her eggs? Right? So he inseminates her and feeds himself to her, knowing that she will not mate anymore because he's already got reproductive success, right? So what happens here? Why does this work? All right, so it's likely something like this, where the male is responsible for the parental care, right? And if you're doing that, you're doing a role reversal. You're going to say, well, what is the female doing? But the interesting thing is, are females ridiculously ornamented like males in the female mate choice? No, because we're too smart. I'm not walking around with a train that's 50 feet long, dragging it along. So what's interesting in male mate choice is the females do not ornament themselves. Ridiculously. Do you know why? Someone tell me why. I'll get 50 points for this. Why do females, yes?
Do you need to use their energy or having offspring?
Not quite. Not quite. Not quite.
They'll attract predators.
Huh?
They'll attract predators.
Yes, you're very close. So I'm not going to give you 50 points. I'll give you 1. If you tell me your name. Looks like Bob, right? So, do you know why females never ornament themselves, even in male-mate choice? You know why? Because female fitness is very, very important. Who's carrying the eggs? Do the males ever actually, yes, I know you're going to say, well, the penguin carries the egg, but who's making the eggs? So if I have a 50-foot train and I die before I can do anything with my eggs, is that a successful strategy? No. The reason why females do not ornament themselves, even in these male-mate choice things, is because female survival is vital. If you're a male and you carry a 50-foot train, if you squirted your sperm in, you're done, goodbye, adios, you're finished, right? Yes?
What about in seahorses?
In what?
Seahorses.
Are the females ornamented?
No, if the males are pregnant.
I know. Do they make, we'll get to seahorses in another lecture. Yes. But this is where the males decide which females to pick to go and inseminate. This is male-mate choice. So in this case, female survival is vital. So without females, who cares if there are all these males? If all the females are dead, the males are going like, now what do we do? Let's call something online porn, right? Well, if you have all the females have to be ornamented and they all get killed, because remember, any kind of ornamentation is detrimental to the survival of that individual, right? Yes, that's the Darwin sexual selection character. But the trouble is that if it's a female, you've lost the egg. That's it. There's no more reproducing with this thing, right? You're done. So, here's the interesting one. It's very, very bizarre and interesting. It's the spiny-footed lizard. I've not done a lizard yet. So in these cases, what's happening is that the males are also worried about sperm competition, all right? You guys didn't figure that one out, all right? So in the spiny-footed lizard, oh my God. Actually, I drew one for myself just as a practice. Wait. Come on, that's a lizard if I ever saw one. Either that or it's T-Rex, one of the two, right? You shook your head at me. I'm finding your picture and I'm gonna give you a 0, all right? So, these are tiny little lizards, all right? In the juvenile stage, sub-adult, the males, I'll write down the word males, and the females have red coloration on their tails. Everybody got this? Don't you like this picture? I love it. Ah, so cool. I too would freeze. You see the red tail? Yes, don't look if you're sensitive, but there are 2 lizards having sex right there. You can see which is the red tail, right? Yes, I know. They actually have a special thing called scramble where a whole bunch of males kind of mug a female, all right? I know. So, as juveniles, sub-adults, both the males and the females have red coloration, not feathers, red coloration on the tail, as a signifying that you are sub-adult. I was going to say subhuman, but sub-adult, all right? When the male becomes an adult, they lose the coloration. Everybody got this? It's a little funny. Or lizard? Is it better than my lizard? Let's see. Don't forget the red tail. Okay, when the male becomes an adult, from when they're growing, they lose the coloration. Got it? Guess what happens to the females? Anybody want to guess? For a little while. I think we're red today. I'm just not gonna red. So the females, as the earliest adult stage, they still have the red coloration. Right? So, this is a case of male mate choice. All right? I'm going to ask you this question. If you were a male spiny-footed lizards, all right? I should try, okay, at the earliest adult stage, the females have the red tail. As they become fully mature adult, they lose the coloration. All right? I'm not going to tell you what the trigger is. So, you're a male adult. Who do you pick? Male mate choice.
The one with the red coloration?
Yes. The males pick the females that are large enough to be almost full-grown female, not a baby. They pick that one. So the males pick this. So what the males are looking for, prefer large size versus small size females, and they prefer red tail versus white tail. Anybody want to guess why? You'll never guess, so I'll make it 1,000 points. Why?
Are the eggs healthier?
Nope. How would you know? How do you know if the male you're picking has good sperm? It's the same thing. Oh,
Is
this
this his age?
huh?
Like the older you get, the more that the stuff deteriorates?
How long do you think these poor lizards live? I know my eggs are boiling. Shh. Everybody quiet, you can hear them boiling. No. That's just what the males want? Yes, but there's a very, 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 very specific reason. This is the own wealth of the lizard. They can tell because they're male and female. A male goes along with, excuse me, are you male or female? No, don't think of us. We all look, they all look the same, but they know. No two males have gone, oh my God, I thought you were female. Oh my God, I thought you were female. No, no, no. Yes.
To signify they haven't dated yet?
10,000 points. Yes! As soon as they ovulate, they lose the red coloration. So if you're a male and you're worried about that these females can mate with multiple males, store the sperm, what female are you going to pick? A large one that it still has red tail, right? Are they smart? Are the males smart? All right, so what happens is this. For the female, as soon as they ovulate, they lose the red coloration. If you were a male lizard, you want to guarantee that you put your first sperm there, all right? So in many cases, when a species where a female can mate with multiple males, there is a huge amount of sperm not in that sense. But the second male can flush out the first male's what? Sperm. The third male can flush out the, yes. So you want to control that female and say, don't mate anymore, I'm watching you, and I am the first male. How does the male know that you haven't done anything to your female spiny-footed lizard? You're large and you still have, exactly, right? Is it male-mate choice? Yes, because they're gonna look. So they are specifically, the males are specifically, I don't know, looking for large and red color on females. They're not going to pick a small red because they know it's immature. So can males determine size? Yes. Can they see color? Yes. So they are picking, they're looking out on the lookout for females that are big, so you're almost ready. Or you've already gone past and now you've got the white coloration. Yes. Everybody got this? All right, let's talk about the exam. I know you guys don't want to. I don't even want to. I'm almost done. 70, multiple choice. Questions? 4 horrible long lectures. You guys were really quiet and boring. I need everybody to be hyped up on copying this time, all right? You need a pencil. I don't care about dates. I'm not really caring about species names, so I'm not going to know what is the name of the house finch we talk about, all right? So there's going to be all kinds of questions, and there's going to be some questions where I make up something, and you go, oh my God, this is what she's talking about, the house finch example, but it's a different animal and a different thing. I can make up anything, right? So the question I have is, it's next Wednesday. Guess what time it starts?
8:30.
8:30. Guess what time it ends?
10:30.
You got an hour and a half for 70 questions, all right? 90 minutes for 70 questions. Will there be a lecture afterwards? No friggin' way, all right? I don't want to see you guys. I don't want to talk to you. You guys are horrible and boring, all right? So the question is, do you want a Q&R review session on the Monday before the Wednesday? Do you want it in person or god-awful Zoom?
Zoom.
Do I have to have clothes on? Should I put on my red coloration? All right, if we do Zoom on, so I'm not doing Zoom the night before because honestly, it's not worth it. You're the night before and you still don't know what the hell's going on, you're in trouble. So the exam is on October 2nd. The Q&A, I am not going to go over the lecture. You're going to come and ask me questions on Zoom and I will give you an answer, all right? So you can't say, can you go over yesterday's lecture? No, all right? It's going to be on Monday. What date is that? September 30th?
Yeah.
What time do you want the Zoom?
Like 7 to 8.
2 p.m.?
Well, 7 to 8. 7 to 8. No.
If there's 8, who's going to buy me food and send to my house? I'm not telling you where I live.